It's working.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this week's Traitors Chat. You may notice that it's a little different this week. If you did not see earlier in the week, I have COVID. I'm on it is a want. I'm on day 8. So I'm
Timeline's a little tricky.
No.
Yeah.
No. So I'm almost in the clear, which is wonderful. Gonna be testing tomorrow, see where I'm at. And that's the story. You're fine.
So far.
No, I'm glad you're okay. I don't want you to be sick. So we're going to get into it in a minute, but I just want to give people a chance to come in. Mom's here. She's in the chat. Don't worry. She's still part of this. But if you guys haven't met Sean yet, this is my husband. And this is going to be interesting because he's going to bring us a unique perspective because he does not watch all of the reality shows that these people are from, but he is a big fan of the Traitors. He watched season 1. He's been watching this season. So I love hearing your takes on the episodes every week.
Uh-huh.
So this is going to be a nice treat. Are you excited to be here?
No.
He is. He's lying. I'm not sure if the chat's working. I can't see if anybody's saying anything. Hopefully, we're not just speaking into the void here. Let me just see what my mom said. I think it's working. Okay, good. Hello.
They just didn't want to talk.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe it just started. I don't know, and everyone missed my little explanation. But
boy.
I don't know. I was thinking about doing this with Mom virtually, but we had a freaking nightmare yesterday.
It was so great yesterday.
Trying to make the Big Brother Canada cast reveal happen, and we were like, never again. So that's a part of this as well. But seriously, I am excited to hear your perspective on everything.
Okay.
I am. Hope everybody's having a great Friday so far. Yes, let's talk what's going on. So last time when we left off, this is episode 10, by the way. We have one more episode after this, and then the reunion.
It's a weird number.
It is a weird number, yeah. I guess they're counting 12 as the reunion, but I want 12 content episodes. Yeah. Also, I had thought that they already filmed the reunion when everybody was in New York a few weeks ago, but apparently they're filming it now in LA, which is weird. Yeah. Also, just before we get into it, apparently there's a rumor that Peter and Ekin-Su are dating now. What are your thoughts on this?
Not Ekin-Su.
God, not Ekin-Su. So, yeah, I don't know. I just saw that today. So I don't know if it's true or not. She was in some Instagram photo with Peter's mom. Stay away from the windmills. I don't know. I don't know. B-Bean says, I believe the rumor Peter dates anything that moves. Oh, no. No, not Ekin. Oh, right. My mom said he booked a Verbo in a windmill. No. Just kidding. Yeah. We're doing okay, Yvonne. I'm almost better and he's good. So
you have COVID 4 times and they just start leaving you alone.
Yeah, you might have some immunity to it by now. This is only my second time. But anyway, let's get into it. Episode 10. Last time we were left on a cliffhanger, right? We didn't get to find out who did MJ banish because it came down to her vote.
Was it really a cliffhanger though?
Yes.
Everyone I saw online was like, I saw what she wrote and it said Peters.
I wasn't sure though if they were faking us out though. Maybe the producers went in and knowing people that were going to do that and changed
that
up
would be a lie.
On the chalkboard. I don't know. But yeah, it was down to either Phaedra or Peter. The votes were tied. And we find out that MJ voted for Peter to go. Yes. I feel bad because I've been hating on MJ a lot all season. What is she even doing? She doesn't know what's going on. But she's been providing us with comic relief this whole time. And she got rid of Peter for us.
Thank God.
I'm sorry. I know some of you are Peter fans, but we were so happy to see Peter go. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
This also was the best of times and the worst of times, which we'll get into because there were such high highs. Yeah. Followed by some really low lows. Was MJ wrong for voting out Peter instead of Phaedra? Of course. I mean, she could have taken out a traitor if she voted out Phaedra. But finally, Peter is gone. Like
Yes,
that's
thank
wonderful
God.
for the viewers. So Traitors be traitin', you know. Kate and Phaedra still have work to do. We'll get there. But Trishelle and John, Peter's remaining crew, they were all high and mighty when Peter did his reveal and was like, I'm faithful. Of course, John and Trishelle were like,
Yeah.
we knew it. We told you all.
Her attitude has been driving me nuts.
And I love John, but
the whole time.
I think Trishelle was really rubbing off on John. And
maybe, but their whole like group had this like holier than thou thing going on.
Yeah.
When they had absolutely no proof that one of them wasn't a traitor, and it just like
ugh. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
Honestly. Still love John though. Trishelle, no, she can go. Yeah. So also we saw basically the death of the Phaedra and CT showmance, which is really upsetting because I'm really rooting for them. I was enjoying them so much together. But CT, he turned on Phaedra. He voted her out. She knows that. I do like that this show has the non-unanimous, or not non-unanimous, but non-anonymous votes. Like everyone has to say who they're voting for.
Yeah.
So she knows now that CT, he's not with her anymore. However, Sheree, still in denial that Phaedra is a traitor. I feel like Sheree could see Phaedra like kill someone with her own eyes and still be I don't think that's what that was. I don't think she's a traitor.
I told you last night, there's been times I straight up forgot she was even in the game. Like, she hasn't done anything.
Which is wild, because if you could see her on Housewives, she has this really famous thing from when she was like planning a party on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And somebody was like asking her about her budget and like if she was going over or whatever. And she was like, who gonna check me, boo? So she's a larger than life personality. But on this show, she has definitely
done nothing.
Been like a non-factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she is really, really hoping at this point that Phaedra is not a traitor. We're going to come back to that in a bit because, of course, that was a big focal point of this episode. But before we get into all that, it's time to murder. Yay! So Phaedra and Kate make their way up to the turret, the two Bravo girls. And at this point, they pretty much have tunnel vision for Peter's crew.
Yeah, they did not make good choices.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake here.
With him gone, that whole crew was pretty much broken up. Like,
they are still really focused on breaking up that crew. So at this point, it's Trishelle, it's John, and then they also have CT lumped into that because he has now turned against Phaedra. But CT has a shield, so he's not.
I mean, Phaedra overall just does not have a good track record with choosing like who to murder. There seems to not be much strategy behind it. Really. Yeah,
I feel like when Parvati and Dan were still on, they were really like calling the shots.
They actually,
with the
and
murders.
She was fine with that. But it's like it's like how Kate's whole thing when she was brought on was like, so wait, you don't have actually any strategy?
Oh yeah, because Phaedra asked Kate like, so what are we doing?
Yeah, like yeah, definitely not good.
Yeah, well, they did decide we're gonna play a numbers game here. We're gonna break up that group. So it was really down to either John or Trishelle, and you know who we were hoping for.
And they chose the wrong person.
Oh, we wanted it to be Trishelle so badly. So it's time for breakfast. Before we get into that, I just want to thank Autumn Pond. Thank you so much for the super chat. Autumn says, great to meet Sean. Yay! Started watching you and Mom cover Big Brother a few seasons ago. Now you got me into Traitors and House of Villains. Can't thank you enough. I love that. I cannot wait to see who's going to be on season 2 of House of Villains. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that Joel McHale is back as the host because he was phenomenal. Okay. So it's time for breakfast. And this is the penultimate day in the castle.
Did you know what that meant before?
I know what that word means because I'm a big fan of it. It's just like such a weird word. I love it. I've always loved it. But anyway, if you don't know what that means, it's the second to last day. All right. I just have to comment every week for us anyway, every day for them. Sandra's always trying to identify who these knocks are on the door. And like,
it's a crazy science she came up with of like,
yes, like that's a dude knock. That's a girl knock. Sometimes she's right. I mean, it's kind of like roulette where like you can bet on black, you can bet on red, or you can bet on numbers. So like when she's betting on black or red, she's gonna be right every once in a while.
But it basically comes down to if it was a light knock, it's a girl, and if it's a heavy knock, it's a guy.
Well, that's the thing too. Like then she starts getting into individual people, and that's where she kind of loses that touch on calling who it is. But yeah, every week without fail, she's trying to call those knocks. So as the people are coming into the breakfast, MJ is realizing I might have made the wrong call here. I might have voted for the wrong person because it's looking like Phaedra could be a traitor.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, when it was down to Kate, Trishelle, and John, she was like, ooh. Again, I do think that maybe they should have taken out somebody else. Yeah. Maybe one of the Bravo girls instead of focusing so hard on Peter's squad.
I saw people saying like she should have gone like MJ out, like somebody who like was in her corner initially, and that would have at least given her a little bit of ground of like, why would she do that?
I think that would have been a good call. I think that would have made sense because then you could kind of pin it on somebody else, but they didn't do that. So anyway, we saw Trishelle come in with Kate, which means that John was murdered. No! Basically, he was too mouthy at the round table. He was really good at making arguments against people.
He nailed Harvey.
He did.
Nailed her.
He really did. And
saw right through that sob story she was throwing out there.
Yeah, I think Kate and Phaedra just didn't want to like go up against that at the round table. So unfortunately, he was murdered. That sucks. He was just such a delight.
He was it was mostly just a, what are you even doing here,
man?
Like,
it was so unexpected. We did not know what to expect with him being on the show, and he was just wonderful. Breath of fresh air.
All these reality stars and then a former Speaker of the House is just such a weird, like, random choice.
Yeah, it was very random, but we loved it. So, John, thank you so much for coming into our lives.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Well, in the game. He's still alive in real life, even though some of these people act like they're actually getting murdered.
Which is very funny.
But John said he wasn't surprised by his macabre fate.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like that. I gotta be honest. That went along with the whole, like, when Peter got out and they were like, oh, yeah, like, they're just always so sure of, like, that they know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, with John gone, he was, like, the master of the whole, like, you're the mistress of murder. You're the blah, blah, blah. What would you say that John is?
No idea.
It's got to be... something with like
the Wizard of Words or something.
Oh, I like that. Or like the MC of entertainment. So it has to be alliterative.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But anyway, very sad to see him go. And then people just brought out the jokes after he was gone. Like CT saying, man, I hope I'm as functional as John when I'm his age. And everyone's like, I don't think he's that old. I honestly don't know how old he is. I would guess.
It was like he's in 70s.
Like 70s probably, right? Yeah. Like early 70s maybe?
70s is usually considered kind of old.
It's not like he's decrepit.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's like, you know, retirement age.
Yeah, if you're lucky. But anyway, CT is now the last guy standing. So it's CT with all these ladies. I forgot who it was, but somebody pointed out it's kind of like he's the bachelor now and not Peter.
I mean, he was making those jokes.
Oh, maybe that's who it was. My brain is not working. Oh my God, John's only 61. I would not have called that, clearly. But, okay, so he's really not that old. Woo! Okay, so anyway, Alan comes in looking glamorous, gorgeous, in gold. He has not had one miss with his looks this season. Yeah, Yvonne says watch it. So Alan lets them know there is a mission coming up, but of course they have their little chat time. They can go off on their own before it's time for the mission.
I gotta be honest, that whole thing was kind of embarrassing.
What do you mean?
Everybody's conversations in that part.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about it. MJ has a chat with Kate and Sheree, and MJ is now trying to convince them, hey, I know we're all like Bravo gals, but I think Phaedra has to go. You're a little late on that.
Right. Until Kate says like 5 words, and then she's like, wait, maybe she doesn't have to
Well, Kate was like, what about Sandra?
Yeah.
Because Kate does not want to be a lone traitor here, right? She wants to try and keep Phaedra in this, which, like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think she should have just cut Phaedra loose?
I mean, I get where she's coming from. I think with it being so near the end, I definitely would have been like, bye, Phaedra.
Like, let's vote her out.
Yeah. I also wouldn't have been stumping for anybody. Like, I just would have been there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sticking my head up at that point.
I was going to say, like, she really went to bat for Phaedra in this episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a good idea this late in the game. Like, Kate has been able to stay under the radar since she's gotten there. Because I think everybody just assumed, like, no one's going to recruit her. Like, you know, she's not a traitor. Right. So I think maybe she made a mistake there. But she really was showing she's a real one.
Yeah.
By trying to protect Phaedra here.
I think she was just trying to make some sense out of the mess that was the general traitor strategy the whole game, which was basically nothing.
Yeah, I gotta say, these traitors...
I mean, why didn't they talk beforehand? Hey, let's go around. Who are we going to target with everybody else to get voted out? Like, that never happened.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a much stronger group of traitors with Parvati and Dan both.
Well, Dan kind of blew everything up.
Dan did blow everything up. I'm still mad at him for throwing Phaedra under the bus. But anyway, Kate is trying to redirect, get people's attention on Sandra. And it seemed like in that conversation, it was maybe possibly working on MJ. Maybe she was like...
That's why it just was so funny to me. Like, she comes out for a specific thing, and it took like one sentence from Kate to be like, you know what? Now that you say that, like, I think I might change my vote. It's like, were you trying to get everybody to vote for Phaedra? What happened there?
She gave up. I don't know. But while those three were talking, you could see them from inside the castle. So Trishelle was all like, I'm going to get out there because they're probably talking about me or something. And like, blah, 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 blah. So
very ironic, by the way.
I know.
Of her complaining that people are in a group talking and they are, without actually confirming, she believes that they're trying to leave her out of the conversation.
Like you told me last night, let's not forget that Peter's whole group, which Trishelle was a big part of, they would actively kick people out of rooms.
Literally told people to leave.
Yes, and be like, no, you can't talk to us. I mean, MJ, especially when she had that iconic moment of the walk backwards. Like, hello, and now you're criticizing them for, like, not including you in a conversation. And it wasn't like she came up and they were like, go away.
Yeah, no.
She just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So Trishelle crashes the conversation with her weird-ass energy. She's, like, looking for a fight, but she's also just like,
they all looked very confused with the way she was talking. Like,
because she was coming in way too hot. And Kate was like, are you okay?
Yeah, I was about to say, what did Kate say? Was like, are you all right?
Yeah, and Trishelle was like, no! She was all, listen to me. We gotta use logic and reasoning. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, can you tell I'm not a Trishelle fan? I can't. I'm over it. But yeah, she was like, we need to get Phaedra out of here, basically. So then, it was time for the mission. Woo! Alan's doggy was there. She looked so cute. I'm so glad that he got to have his dog on set. So with this mission, $30,000 up for grabs. That's a pretty nice chunk of change, if I do say so. Do you need to go get that?
No.
Okay. We're waiting on a little shop from home delivery. Anyway, this mission, they have to find the gold nuggets in this like mud pile. Ooh, it looks like a poop pile. But anyway, find the gold nuggets, transfer them across this like, I wouldn't call it an obstacle course, but like a floating platform
just like
bridge. Yeah. And then place the golden nuggets on the scale. Each nugget was worth $150. It's a pretty small amount out of 30,000. So you know there were a lot. And there was also one shield up for grabs hidden in the mud pile. So what do you know? MJ ends up finding the shield.
Thank God.
I was like, MJ, again, thank you so much for your service. Because, of course, Trishelle was all like, I need the shield. I need to get the shield. I should get the shield. And then when MJ found it, she was like, the shield was inches away from my hands. And, of course, MJ gets it. Stop!
I cannot stand her.
To be fair, she probably does need the shield.
This is the one time she really legitimately needed it, but the fact that she's done that every single time and has actually gotten offended when other people have either tried to stop her or get it themselves.
Yeah.
With no sense of irony, like, whatsoever.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
So, that being said, MJ finds the shield. She still has to get it across the bridge.
Which they're not doing a good job of.
Yeah, and get it to the scale. And it was not good. People were struggling.
They kept stopping.
Yes. Yeah, you noticed that before anyone figured it out. Like, you can't just like stop and start so much. You have to keep moving. Momentum. Because then the thingies won't be moving as much. The platform.
Well, it's also just a confidence thing. Like, if you're waiting till too close to the end, it dips too far and then you fall in.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody was falling in the water. It was not going well. They weren't making any money. And Alan was having a ball watching everyone fall in the water.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't think he was acting there. I think he legitimately was
it was cathartic for him to watch this. You know, if anybody put him through shit, you know, during the season, he got to watch this, and I'm glad for him. It was really funny. But anyway, Trishelle was the first one to successfully make it across with some of the gold nuggets. And I have to admit, like, she has been kicking ass in these challenges. She's been really great. So good for her. It doesn't make me find her any less annoying. I'm sorry. But yeah, she did a really good job in the challenge. And CT follows her advice, you know, just keep busting through it. And honestly, it seemed like Trishelle and CT were the only ones really like getting across with the gold. And MJ finally, right in the final seconds of this mission, gets across with the shield.
Let's be honest, it wasn't the final seconds. They definitely messed with the clock so she could try it.
There have been a few times throughout this series where I was like, well, did they really make it successfully? Because really they got it in the last few seconds. I don't know about that.
When she started, it said there was a minute left. And she got it within like the last 3 seconds. So you're telling me she made it in like 50 seconds across all those ridges?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, she got it. So she has a shield. I guess there is one more murder then, if she was able to get a shield.
Yeah.
Because we weren't sure if there was going to be another murder.
Well, it's just like it would have told everybody that there was one traitor left.
Yeah.
Which means that, like, you know, unless they get super lucky with the last vote off, like, you're almost guaranteed, no, I'm not going to, like, green light everybody gets a piece because I know there's a murderer.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But now that makes sense that she would have a shield, so there's going to be a murder. But, yeah, Yvonne, that's right. Kate says she is way below deck.
Yeah.
Kate is, like, one of the only people that you knew well like, going into the season because we watched a lot of Below Deck.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else.
We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, let's finish up this episode. So they ended up banking $28,350, which I was not expecting. I did not think that they were going to end up getting that much. Do you think that the rest of the 30 they missed out on because people dropped it in the water, or do you think they just didn't have time?
See, when they first explained it, I thought what was going to happen is if you fell, whatever like nuggets you had
didn't count.
Like you were supposed to let them go. But the idea that you could like get back up and do it again, I guess makes more sense. And they showed at one point CT had one of those baskets they could use to dig to hold on to the stuff. So I guess it would make sense that they just kept going across with like a ton of them. Yeah.
They might have dropped some in the water. I guess if it's in the water, it's done.
Yeah.
Unless
I doubt they also found every single nugget.
Yeah, that could be it too. But honestly,
props
to Trishelle and CT because they were the ones really pulling the weight.
I mean, it really looked at the beginning that they weren't going to get any money.
Yeah, it did look that way.
They got almost all of it. So
yeah. So that was that, and that means that the total banked so far is $158,100, which is pretty good. But I'm curious, are they going to give them the opportunity to get the whole prize amount with one more competition? I feel like they will.
Makes it more interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can get it. But do you think everyone was panicking when like nobody was making it across?
Yes.
I mean, it was CT and all the ladies. And
also, from the way CT was moving, he's clearly not like the most athletic guy.
I don't think he's as dexterous as he maybe was a few years ago.
Very much the the outcome, the after effect of getting rid of all the guys at the beginning,
right.
You get some of these physical challenges at the end.
That is true.
That like they would have absolutely been like great for.
Right. Oh, I feel like it's getting so grainy on this video, but I'm sorry. We have a dark apartment. Yeah. Our lighting sucks. But anyway, we're just going to keep going. Keep trucking on. So after the challenge, it's time to go to work. Kate clocks in because she does not want Phaedra to go. Yeah. So again, she's trying to convince people, let's vote out Sandra. And honestly, I think her approach here was pretty smart because she wasn't necessarily denying that Phaedra could be a traitor. She was telling people, like, look, I know what you're saying. I know that we need to address the Phaedra situation, but what if we save her for the last day? Because they'll have that chance to take out any remaining traitors that they think are there. Why not take a shot at Sandra right now? Maybe we get somebody that's kind of flying under the radar. And it was a good argument. I thought
game-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's another thing that was, like, driving me nuts about the Peter group. It was like, you realize even if you get rid of these traitors and identify all of them, they're just going to get replaced.
Yeah.
There's going to be a traitor at the end because that's what makes the game interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know who a traitor is, keep them. Like, why are you trying to get rid of every single traitor?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it really comes down to if you're going to keep the traitors that you're pretty sure you know they're a traitor. If you're just keeping them around and you try to have a good relationship with them to make sure that they don't, like, kill you, it does make sense to keep them. But anyway, is anyone taking the bait here? Sandra ends up joining this conversation, trying to break it up.
Everybody was paranoid, man.
Well, I mean, they were all talking about her. And Kate explained the plan to vote out someone other than Phaedra, casually, like conveniently leaving out that the person she's trying to throw under the bus is Sandra. That was hella awkward.
Why she didn't just name somebody else?
Yeah, she could have said somebody else. I don't know, but
Trishelle,
right? Why is no one trying to target Trishelle?
It's insane.
Yeah, Natalie, thank you so much for the super chat. We really, really appreciate it. All right, so before we get into the round table, there was a very emotional conversation between Phaedra and Sheree. They had a little one-on-one because Sheree was like, I need to get to the bottom of this. So
I think she just didn't want to look a fool.
I mean, yeah, that's a big part of it. We find out that Sheree and Phaedra have been friends for like 30 years, which I didn't realize that they knew each other for that long. But Sheree straight up asks Phaedra, are you a traitor? What do you think she's going to say?
She should have said, no, are you a traitor? Like,
I mean, honestly, yeah. It just reminds me because we used to play that like wolf game with our friends all the time, which is basically what the Traitors is. It's like a variation of Mafia. And we had this one friend who would always turn to people and just ask, like, make direct eye contact and be like, are you a wolf? So it reminded me of that. But I mean, I guess even if the person says no, maybe you can gauge if they're like nervous about it or like, something like that.
My theory is that's when Phaedra gave up.
Yeah. I think
she, at that point, was tired. She now has one of, at least in this house, her oldest friend, like, not trusting her. I think at that point, she's like, I'm going to get voted out anyway. Why am I, like,
there's nothing
messing with a real life relationship?
Yeah,
for a game I'm not going to win. Like, I think she was just like, all right, I'm done.
No more CT. No more Sheree.
Yeah.
So I would agree with you. I think that was probably her breaking point if she loses Sheree. I do feel like Sheree was expecting her to give an honest answer, though. Like, I don't know. I feel like she was thinking maybe Phaedra would say yes. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, Phaedra said no. And then it's time for the round table. So there wasn't anything like too wild at the round table. I mean, Trishelle starts things off going on the offensive against Phaedra.
Mm-hmm.
MJ, Sandra jump on board. And again, this Phaedra Sheree storyline is like breaking my heart because you could see there were real emotions there, real feelings. And Phaedra was like, honestly, I'm just exhausted at this point. And it almost seemed like she was going to like say, I'm a traitor.
I mean, she all but did, essentially.
Yeah.
She offered no defense. She didn't offer up any alternatives. It was just like, I'm tired of defending myself over and over and over again.
I feel like she could have twisted it a bit and like really played it up and tried to, make people feel guilty. Like, oh my God, everything we put this poor woman through. Maybe she's really not a traitor.
I saw somebody say that maybe she could have done the thing that Dan Parvati had done, which is name somebody else, because so far every time a traitor is about to get out, they name another traitor in order to try to save themselves.
I really do feel like she did not want to do that to Kate. Maybe she could have.
But I'm saying like not even to Kate, but just like it's MJ. Like
yeah, she really was cool in that way though, that she didn't try to throw Kate under the bus or anything. Yeah. She very well could have done that, but no.
I think at this point she was trying to consider reactions outside of the game from people.
Yeah. But Kate was very upset with Phaedra when she was like, I'm exhausted. Kate was just like, excuse me? Like, she was not happy that Phaedra was giving up at this point.
She brought her into it. Like,
I know.
You're going to bring me into this game and then you're just going to like give up?
I feel like it was a bit of a misstep though on Kate's part. Yeah. I think she should have kept her mouth shut because she was talking about how Phaedra is more selfish than skillful. And if I was sitting at that table, I would have been like, what's this all about? Like, why are you saying this? That would definitely be a red flag to me. And it was to someone, which we'll get to. But it was a unanimous vote for Phaedra to go, except Phaedra voted for CT, which is like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it seemed like everybody was really kind of like hurt to be voting for Phaedra, especially the Bravo girlies.
Yeah, other than Trishelle, but
yeah.
And no one at that table felt satisfied, I think, by it wasn't a guess, it wasn't hard work. It was just like, we've known it was you for a while.
I think everybody really enjoyed her on the show.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a bummer. But then it was time for Phaedra's reveal. She did a little fake out saying like, I'm a faithful traitor.
Between her and Parvati, I've had to wonder if like when they got like, okay, I might get out tomorrow, I need to brainstorm something I would say like in the reveal portion.
I mean, you want to have a fun reveal, right? But Sheree, when she heard the fake out, oh my God, Sheree. Sheree, please. Yeah, so the lead-in to next week, I have to say too, I was really, really happy with Phaedra's performance on this season. I thought she did a great job as a traitor up until the end. I think she got screwed over by Dan because I don't think Trishelle would have been on to Phaedra if it were not for Dan throwing her name
She got royally screwed over by them doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think she did that great of a job as a traitor though. No. Her whole strategy seemed to be, I'm going to let the other traitors do all the work, and I'm just going to be here so that way no one ever suspects me. And
she was the last one standing.
That's a strategy for sure, and obviously it works, but like, that's not playing the game. Like, play the game. Don't just sit back and let other people play just so you can be like, oh, well, I'm here at the end, so, whatever.
Yeah. No, I see your argument. I also think maybe she could have been a little bit more surprised at the breakfasts. She did.
I have to wonder if that's just an editing thing.
It could have been an editing thing.
It would be insane if everybody else is like having a mental breakdown over who died, and she's just like, "Can someone pass me the butter?"
Yeah. That's true. She could have. I think she could have done a better job, but yeah, maybe it was the edit. Who knows? But it was a lot of fun to see her in that role, especially since she wasn't from like the competition reality world.
Can you just imagine like a murder mystery movie where the murder gets revealed and everybody in the room is shocked, but one person isn't? Everybody be like, they did it. Like, they're the murder. They weren't shocked. There's no way that's how she actually was behaving. Or at least that was more exaggerated.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say, but we saw a little taste of what's to come in the finale. Sandra, she picked up on Kate's emotion, her disappointment in Phaedra at the round table, and it's definitely setting off alarm bells. So we'll see if Sandra is able to get the numbers to take out Kate. I just wish Kate didn't do that. She could have gotten away with this. I really think she could have won this whole thing. I mean, she still can, but
there were just so many other ways she could have said that wouldn't have just sounded like a traitor talking to a traitor.
Yeah.
That was just the wrong word to use.
Yeah, she definitely made a mistake there.
You can be like, I felt betrayed by you, or like
I'm disappointed that you're giving up.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But like the thing that she said, it was
selfish.
Too weird. Definitely set off alarm bells, especially when you got Sandra, who is masterful at these kind of games. I'm so sad that you haven't seen Sandra's Survivor seasons.
Well, after that, I'm kind of rooting for her to win.
Sandra?
Yeah.
But I don't want... If Trishelle gets murdered, then I'm okay with
that would be great.
Winning. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys are Trishelle fans. I just can't. She has rubbed me the wrong way this season.
It's like that wolves thing. I feel like we've talked about where it's like it always drove me crazy when somebody would point to someone as like the wolf in the game and then use some crazy logic to explain why, and people would get behind it. And when you're the person, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you heard me move when everybody's eyes were closed, so I must be like the traitor. Like, that's her logic going into these things. She got extremely lucky in some cases, but it's insane the confidence she carries around. Like she's some like master tactician.
I know.
It's insane.
But anyway, that's where we're at. The finale is next week, which I can't believe. I'm so sad. But we do have Big Brother Canada starting up. So that's something. We have Survivor that just started this week, which was a lot of fun. I'm really liking this new cast so far. But if you want to dismiss yourself, that's fine. Thank you so much for joining me for this chat today.
Sure,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How do you feel? This was your first like reality show recap that you've ever
that
done
you know of.
What? You're cheating on me. No, it was a lot of fun. I was just going to stay and chat with everybody for a few minutes before it gets totally dark in here. But you don't have to stay for that part if you want to go get the...
Yeah, well, you need to move your equipment is the problem.
Hold on a sec. Let me let Sean get out of here. Yeah. We got a tight squeeze. My mom says thank you. Yeah. Kansas says Sean got jokes. Kansas, you don't even know. This dude, he is a jokester. Joke machine. So let's chill for a few minutes before I get really tired from talking. I'm still in that phase of COVID where I feel like pretty decent, but then like I'm a little too overconfident in how I feel and I overexert myself and then I don't feel as good. But I am definitely on the mend now. Rob says, I wonder if a traitor is allowed to say to a faithful that they are a traitor. I don't think so, because in the beginning, when they were like swearing the traitors in, they had to promise that they weren't going to reveal their traitor status to anyone. We got our food here. Sean said he was feeling snacky earlier, so he had to get some snacks. You did not order that? I did not order. Oh, okay. Well, we have some frozen fruit bars. I love those, so I'll take it. Who do you guys think is going to win, Traitors or Faithfuls? I would love to see Kate take it all, but I just don't know if she's going to be able to outwit Sandra. Because Sandra, when she has a plan, it's going to be hard to go up against her. You think Faithfuls are going to win? I think they have a very good shot at this point. Mom says Faithfuls. Yeah, I think so too. Tammy says, evidently today on the news, I heard that when you have COVID, you don't have to quarantine anymore. So I'm not sure if you've heard that. I did see that they like changed up the guidelines and they're saying you don't even have to quarantine for like 5 days anymore, which is kind of like crazy to me. They were like, if you're improving, like you can go out. But that also means like you should be wearing a mask. Like you can't just go out into the world as you normally would. Honestly, for me, because I can stay home and get things done, I'm fine with quarantining like the old suggested amount and all that. And just making sure everyone is like going to be good, because I don't want to risk getting my family sick. Where did this spinach come from?
I didn't order either.
Both of those things I like, so seriously, I'll take them.
All my other stuff is there.
That's weird. Whatever. At least you got some freebies.
I feel like I should call them.
Yeah, just let them know.
Yeah.
Sorry, shopping drama. Yeah. So I could understand like if other people are not in the same situation and they have to go into work. Yeah, it's interesting though how much they keep changing things up. I don't know if it's because like these latest strands, oh thank you, are, you know, not as, I feel like they're just as spreadable, if not more. But I don't know. I'm not a health expert, so I can't really. I know. So who knows? Bravo loyalty could save Kate. Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Sandra, even though she's suspicious of Kate, she'd still have to lock down enough votes to go against her. True Teddy says if Dan was not in the game, Phaedra would win easily. Yeah, I think Phaedra would have been in a much better position if Dan had not sold her out like that, for sure. Yvonne wants Kate to win. I'd love to see it too. Sean says Davon's Traitors recaps are hilarious. I didn't know Davon was doing Traitors recaps. That's fun. I would love to see Davon on a future season of the Traitors. Thank you. I hope I feel better soon too. Oh, they're predicting a new strand of COVID during the summer. I could see it. I mean, this thing just keeps mutating. The reunion show is taping soon. Yeah, I think they're all in LA right now. Tammy says, I don't think Phaedra did enough. I love her to pieces, but she could have done more. But I know she felt tired. Yeah, she kind of just gave up at the end. It is going to be an interesting reunion. I think there's going to be some hurt feelings.
Phaedra's been talking mad shit about that.
Has she?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You got all the tea from Reddit. Sean loves Reddit, so I always ask him to check when we're watching stuff together. Like when we're watching Below Deck, I'm like, go on Reddit and see what they're saying about this, please. Because I don't use Reddit, but yeah, he gets all the good info from that. What was I going to say with the reunion? Oh, I feel like this cast maybe won't be as personally offended by things as they were last season, because there was that mix of like newbies and like reality TV stars. So now that we have all reality TV people, maybe they're not going to take things as personally. I don't know. They're pushing for a booster shot for seniors. I actually got a booster a few months ago, which is another reason why I was so surprised to find out that I had COVID. I mean, they're not foolproof. You can still get it, obviously, but maybe I would have had it even worse if I hadn't gotten the booster. Dan is going to have people coming for him. Bananas is already gearing up. I did see that Bananas has been talking a lot of crap about Dan. Yeah, he's holding a grudge. That honestly does surprise me, though, because Johnny Bananas has been on more shows than like any of these people. So you'd think that he would just be like, it's a game, whatever. Mom says go Bananas. Yeah, we started being fans of him after seeing him on House of Villains. After we thought we were going to hate him, we really enjoyed him on that. Dan tried to apologize to Phaedra, but she ignored him. I mean, we'll see how it all plays out at the reunion, right? It'll be interesting. But anyway, I think I'm gonna have to call this because my face is kind of just morphing into a blob in this lighting. And also I do want to start making some dinner. This is like the first day that I feel like I can actually make a nice meal and not fall over in the process. So I do want to take advantage of that. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend. What's for dinner? I'm gonna make tofu. I'm gonna make basically like a sheet pan roast with tofu. I think I'll do potatoes today. I have those mini potatoes, Little Potato Company. Love it. I have asparagus. I have tomatoes. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of stuff on the sheet pan and roast it. I think it's gonna be delish. So thank you all so much for being here. I know it's not our usual time or day, but we appreciate it. We should be back to normal next Thursday for that recap. And like, honestly, we have Big Brother Canada coming up this week, so we'll be doing that. Yes, thank you all so much for being so welcoming to Sean. Good times. So have a great weekend, and until next time, Much love. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.